Ah! Wait, they already started. These are not the correct names. Okay, so... I have no clue who is on which side at the moment. Lars is on the right. I have to wait until their sleeves are in screen. So, Lars on one side, Thijs on the other. And we have the two more creative approaches to gate control on the table now. Come on in.
Yes, I want to correct you straight away, and I don't think these decks are control decks.
Come again?
I don't think these decks are control decks.
No, not.
I might correct you straight away.
Not really. Did I say control decks?
I think you did. But that's fine.
I think they're the two more interesting decks. So we have... Where are they?
Lars is right next to my name.
Where are you? There.
Yeah, okay.
And I think Thijs is hiding here. Okay. Thijs is on the left. There we go.
Yeah. Okay, so something interesting already happened. We've got a resolved search for Iskandar, which is quite relevant.
This is the list that's all mixed and matched. And well, there's a lot of search of Forest Cantos in in this top 8.
Yeah, I mean, search for again. It has all to do with Gates Ablaze again, because it allows you to play more rares that do sort of instead of being an answer to something, search for Iskandar allows you to search for the exact answer you want.
Yeah.
In a control deck, and then in a combo deck, obviously, if you're playing something like Tess, where you want to keep looping Nexus of Fate, you have to use a search for Iskandar. Or just in general, with Wilderness Reclamation, you get multiple triggers. It's
so we have Thijs building advantage with the search for Iskandar, and on the other hand, we have Lars who doubles growth spirals into actual land drops. And creates a huge mana advantage for him there.
I think I want to be Lars in that scenario, actually.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Lars is the one with the hard advantage, where Thijs has incremental advantage. I mean, give it 4 turns and we're at a more equal point of advantage, I would say. But right now, right here, is the scary time.
The interesting thing with Search for Iskandar and Tess's deck, especially, and Lars's deck as well, but he's not playing it, is you come into the... Because I run Recover, which Tess does not.
Recollect.
Recollect, sorry. Yeah, Recollect. But one of the main reasons is because if you search for Iskandar, you always have to pick up your combo pieces if you're playing... if you Tess, because once they're in the graveyard, it's very hard to get them back. Though you could Devious Cover Up, I guess, and get them back that way, but... Right.
So both players are taking it rather slow here. Right now, we only have support for Lars and a lot of heartache for Sander that lost to Jens. So we have Thijs against Lars here for a spot in the finals against Jens. So let us know in the chat, who are you rooting for, Thijs or Lars? Right now it's 1-0 Lars. Gets us a Wilderness, a Reclamation going. No, gets cancelled.
That's tricky.
2 mana for Lars. Yeah.
Lars is playing Spell Pierce as well. Or you can do that. That works as well.
Expansion Explosion. Yeah, there's only Spell Pierce in the main deck. And Devious Cover Up, but that's not relevant here. So there was no negate to be afraid of.
No, but Spell Pierce.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. But
I was looking for other scary
okay,
things,
so,
but it's only the 2 Spell Pierces.
Mm-hmm.
I missed my chance to use my combo breaker.
Oh.
This is my favorite one, but you have to be really fast to
Right.
otherwise it doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
Don't stop believing.
Okay.
So Shimmer. I'm just beginning to realise, like on this end, these matches aren't as exciting as I thought they were whilst playing. I'm just beginning to realise that.
I actually like matches like this that you have time to.
They are. Oh, that's lovely, but you have to know what's in everyone's hands for them to be exciting, I think. Because do we know what's in their hands?
No.
Because, I mean,
Looks like Lars has more supporters than Thijs, by the way. Well, I'm actually working on the next level setup has 2 player cams
like,
that
okay.
look at one player while giving view on the other player's hand. So it'll be like looking in this
Ooh,
angle.
Interesting.
The problem is a 3 cam setup is something that goes really hard with computers and the software. So
Really?
it's not easy to do it.
Wow.
Also, to have it on screen with a card viewer makes it a bit of a technological issue as well.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, one of the next steps is hopefully to replace the caster cam with.
Yeah, it's not very interesting, is it?
Nah.
Nah. What are the standings? Well, whoever wins this match goes up against Jens in the final, right?
Yep. Standings are easy right now.
Yeah, it's very easy.
So recollect on expansion
That's
explosion.
the card I like. That's
I'm also a big fan of cards like recollect. These suck in the early game, but in the late game become super versatile kind of
Yeah.
things. I'm a big fan of playing these kinds of cards in my decks.
again, yeah. And if you're running invent with invent, it's just so good. It's
Because
you
it's
can't underestimate it, but
yeah, because it's only a sorcery.
right, exactly. It's only a sorcery.
Balanced.
3 mana's a lot though. I think it's actually quite balanced because it's 3 mana. 3 mana's a bit.
Did you just say 3 mana as a bitch?
No.
What?
I said it's a bit, and then I mumbled something. I did not call 3 mana a bitch. I have
Okay.
no issues with 3 mana at all. There are many things that are 3 mana that I enjoy, such as recollect and Gates and Blaze.
Guild Sun?
Yeah.
Gatebreaker Ram?
Gatebreak. I don't actually quite like Gatebreaker Ram.
You're not one of the green guys?
No. I vote red.
Blink of an eye.
Yeah.
I still love how when Blink of an Eye came out, I said it was going to be one of the important utility cards for control from now on. And everybody looked at me like, come on, it's just a bounce spell. I was like, just give it a bit.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it so
Yeah.
ubiquitously present in all these control decks.
It's so good. I mean, because I've spent way too much time, I think, thinking about the Gates deck, the Nexus deck specifically, and it's exactly what you want in the Nexus deck because sort of main board, right? Because the Nexus deck has some issues in deck building in that, like 95% of your deck is already set based on just draw spells and then combo cards. So whatever you fill that last bit, it's. I mean, you could go for, say, a couple of Shivan Fires, like 2 or 3, but they're not going to do much. Even in the matchups they're good against. Like, you're not going to win mono-red matchups just on the back of a couple of Shivan Fires. You need more than that. So Blink of an Eye is like the perfect card there to just have some additional things which you can then take out for something more important. Because it's pretty decent actually against Gates, for example, just bouncing a Ram and drawing a card, getting, slowing down the game. It's just exactly what you want most of the time.
Yeah, getting that tempo advantage without losing any of the card advantage, even if it's in the mid game for 4 mana.
Right. It's so rarely a bad card.
Okay, in the meantime, we have a transformed Search for a Skunk. But we're still in this... We're still looking for that point where the Search for Ascanta tilts it in favor of Thijs. And now that Lars has a Guild Summit, I think that advantage stays on his side for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, that's probably going to invert event in this case, yeah. So the nice thing about Thijs' deck is, he's always going to look for Nexus, that's a given. And then probably Shimmer as well. They're playing Precognitive Perception as well as one of his rares, which I think is somewhat interesting.
But not Recollect, right?
He's not playing Recollect, and he's not playing Electrodominance, which I think is a mistake. I think I would prefer Electrodominance over...
He's not playing Fight with Fire either.
Yeah. But even without the Fight with Fire, I mean, if you don't want to join my 18 mana OTK team, that's fine.
I love that.
But just... Electrodominance is just such a good card as... Even as just a versatility thing, being able to play a Wilderness Reclamation at instant speed, for example, at the end of your opponent's turn, is so much fun. It's so good, and basically all you want to be doing is casting all the big spells possible, right? Nexus, Electrodominance, Expansion Explosion.
So where are we exactly now?
I think we're in Lars' turn, right?
Did he already draw for the turn? He was tapped out. Yeah, so we're in Lars' turn.
So, if you're Lars, what do you want to do here? Probably want to slam those two Wilderness Reclamations, right?
He has an invest in hand as well.
I think...
See, but he cannot break the match with casting Invent here.
No, that's sort of the issue.
Where if your deck would have been put in this position,
I would have won.
You just kill.
You win on the spot, I think.
But you only have 16 mana.
Yeah, so. But you can or not, just getting an Expansion Explosion with this is actually. I mean, Lars can do the same thing. But I would actually... Yeah, okay. Yeah, point being, still... You're a mana short, that's true. But I don't quite get why Lars doesn't go for a big Expansion Explosion here. You can just...
Invent for Expansion Explosion?
He already has an Expansion Explosion in his hand. So... Because he just wasted a Wilderness Exploration on tap, which I don't quite get. Either you want to cast Invent or Explosion there, right? Or am I missing something?
Well, something. I mean, Thijs did not have counter mana up.
Yeah.
Whatever you have to get value there, you throw out, no?
Yeah.
I mean, you're untapping anyway.
Yeah, I would think so. But maybe an interesting question for Lars once.
I would keep, unless you're planning on drawing infinite cards, I keep the shocks for the
1,000-year storm, right?
For the 1,000-year storm. Is that 3 Gates Ablazes in his hand?
Niels, are you looking forward to the Open where everyone's going to bring gates now?
And then get crushed by mono red?
Get crushed by mono red. And everyone goes home sad.
I'm actually looking forward to the Open, but I'm already looking forward to what War of the Sparks is going to bring to the meta game.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I like planeswalkers as like big things. I'm not sure how I feel about them as sort of
Little things.
Yes, thank you. I'm so articulate at times.
cute little planeswalker? I'm just calling it. We'll get static ability planeswalkers with a low loyalty cost, like an enchantment you can attack.
I mean, that's somewhat cute, I guess.
Right?
Yeah, but it makes a planeswalker a bit less special, doesn't it? Makes
True.
it a sort of a. Though you could say Dominaria did the same thing with legendary creatures, right?
Yeah, and Mirrodin with artifacts, and
Artifacts.
Invasion with gold cards, and I mean whatever is special and cool is bound to not be at some point.
I remember the very first time I saw a gold card, actually.
It's cool, right?
Yeah, it was because as a kid, I the idea of playing multiple colors in one deck was unheard of. Like the fact that you could do that, I hadn't figured that out yet. And then one day I was at a totally unrelated. Like when I was young, I played chess. I was at a chess tournament, and some other kids were playing Magic the Gathering. And one of them played a gold card, and I was like, "How'd you cast that? How can you cast both black and red mana?" And I looked at it. Oh.
So, Thijs bounced a Reclamation.
Yeah.
And then Lars replayed it. And that's it.
Yeah.
So is Thijs so desperately digging for cards here?
I think...
The funny thing as well is that Lars hasn't drawn a land in the last 3 turns. So that Guild Summit has been underwhelming.
Yeah.
So both players seem to be a bit antsy to progress the game here. Where Thijs playing bounce for not countering the Reclamation on the way back in. Looks like that as well.
If you're Thijs, you just kind of want to use your Ascanta every single turn, right? So
Yeah.
I get that. I don't quite get Lars's play here of not doing anything in his turn.
Okay, so Shimmer. Will he find something?
No, probably going to take the cancel.
Shimmer? Hello? Okay.
Shimmer.
When the stream crashed previous time, it was also when I was looking up Shimmer. So I was like, no! Not again!
Okay. There we are.
Ah, has it begun? A second invent. Ah, no, it's Expansion Explode? Yeah, it's Expansion. Those two look so alike.
Yeah.
The top split card, it's really annoying if you're doing casting. You're
Imagine.
constantly like, oh, he's inventing. Oh, wait, what? Why is he drawing 2 cards? It's like, very annoying.
Yeah, I can see that.
So it's 3 Gates Ablaze, Spell Pierce, Invent, Expansion Explosion. Against a negate.
Double root snare, I think. I'm doing this dumb thing as well where I'm leaning in as if that's going to improve my vision.
Well, you get closer as well, so it doesn't look completely
Yeah, but
idiotic.
I'm making an angle as if I'm, which is not how.
No.
Yeah.
It's a
Video works. That's not. I'm curious because if the game just progresses like this, I can just see Des picking up his Nexus. Then. Okay.
Oh, no, Lars is going for something here.
Lars is going for something here.
So he has 9 mana in the pool.
To be absolutely fair, he should have been doing that all along, actually. And explicitly putting his mana in the pool. Because...
It makes Thijs nervous.
One, it makes Des nervous. And also, it allows you to say Des taps out to draw... Like, does something you can at least expansion explosion, do like a big play in response. There's no reason not to do that there and leave those options open.
Sure.
The weird thing about Nexus, Thijs having Nexus and Lars not really having that card, is it's very interesting because in the mirror, when you both have Nexus, you have this very interesting dynamic of exactly what we talked about before the game started today, where one player can cast Nexus and then the other player can have it resolve and then cast his own Nexus, which is a very bad situation to be in. So you're generally holding Nexus. Whereas in these scenarios, Thijs can somewhat freely throw them out.
Well, except he's facing off against counter magic from
Lars.
But what's the counter magic?
Yeah,
and then the scary part comes. It's Devious Cover-Up.
Oh, it's Devious.
Is as a one-off in there. There's no syncopates and none in the sideboard as well.
Right, we talked about this, the single Devious Cover-Up.
Yeah. Yeah, the syncopates are so mean. Like when I was playing Sultai against the blue-white control decks, the syncopates were... Because when you're Sultai, you have this insane value grind into the late game. So you're just throwing stuff into counterspells. But if that counterspell's of syncopate, then suddenly you're like, oh, wait, it's really gone now.
Yeah.
Like, this was not part of the plan. You have your Tatyova just go like... Oh wait, now I can't play it again in 17 turns.
Actually, out of all the counter spells, getting value out of Syncopate is, I think, the best feeling you can have playing counter spells.
Yeah, just because like Chemist's Insight, people just throw that out like it's nothing, and you're like, oh, 2 mana, Syncopate, goodbye, I just countered the next one as well.
Yeah.
So, Lars here... trying to get just a little value out of the
and
spell
sure
pierce.
You can't activate the
can't activate search. Yeah, you're countering a search. It's a stifle.
Do you want to put stifle up on there?
Except he can because there's reclamation.
No, but he can't activate his. Can he? No,
he can't. But he will with the because he has wilderness reclamation now.
Yeah, but just once, right? Not twice.
Yeah. Days with his floating mana tokens.
I keep telling you, I don't think these are necessary. I mean, I get those in like modern decks where you have to be like Storm or something, where you have to be very careful that you have the correct color of mana. But rarely is that the case with these. Like rarely do you have to actually count the colors. It's very nice. It's
for a stream as well.
That I can understand entirely.
So we have the big baddie. Nexus of Fate hitting the table. Xus of Fate. There we go.
It is a neat looking card. We can like.
Sure.
Today I held it in my hand for the first time because I got it from Lars. I was like, this is a nice card. People should play this card. It looks good.
Because that's how you decide which cards to play based on aesthetics.
Totally.
So, Nexus of Fate has resolved, is getting shuffled back into the library, and where's my one eternity later button? Where is it?
The SpongeBob one.
Yes. Where is it? Finish him. No.
Nope.
One eternity later.
One eternity later.
Right. But I was talking to Thijs after the matchup, and I think, or maybe during the match, I don't know. I think I've convinced him to start playing Gate Colossus as well.
Like start or stop?
Start, because he's not playing Gate Colossus right now, I think, right? He's playing 2 Mystic?
2 Mystic, yeah.
Yeah. So, because I think most of the time Mystic is a slower clock.
He searched for a Skandot and then drew the Nexus.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
This Nexus really likes Thijs.
Yeah.
It keeps floating back to the top, it seems. have another wilderness reclamation. That hand for Lars. Yeah, I can't shake the feeling that if he just valued expansion, that explosion at some point, he'd be in a much better position at this point.
It just like you don't even have to go all out. If you just use the 2 untaps you get for free, like
yeah, he could have done an explosion for 6 and untap all his land.
Yeah. Actually, you could do.
The turn where we were saying it, he had an explosion for 6 while keeping all his lands untapped. I feel that's enough.
Yeah.
So here's Nexus again. Still on there. Hey!
Hey, handy.
And Thijs is thinking.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
No, but the as I was saying, if you have a Gate Colossus, usually it takes less turns than with a Mystic. So I think that's a blessing to us all now.
Fair enough. So is he just Nexus-assing now?
Yeah. So the plan is to keep Nexus-assing until he either gets enough mana and can safely cast Expansion Explosion, which I don't think is going to happen, or he gets a Mystic.
But Lars doesn't have any counter mana. Or any counter spells. He has 2 Spell Pierces main. That's it. And a Devious Cover.
Yeah, so probably...
Which at this point we know... He should know that he is not in the books.
Yeah, so yeah, let's correct that. So either he gets enough mana for an Expansion Explosion, which it's looking like that's going to be the case if he gets another Wilderness Reclamation. Or we're waiting for Tess to resolve a Mystic and make a bunch of birds.
Yeah.
But that's interesting because Lars does have sufficient Gates of Blazes to get rid of those birds. Should he then? Yeah.
He's holding 3, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, this could... Strap in, boys. This could be a long one.
Sean Connery, was that you?
Oh, we have the predictive perception.
Precognitive perception.
Yeah, that thing. The
Predictive perception was
precognitive.
Yeah.
In colloquial terms, also called the PP.
In the business, it's called the
In the
PP.
in the business, we call it the PP. When you really need to dig deep, you got to go PP.
And this
What?
is so dumb. I shouldn't.
Wait, I have a button for this.
I have a feeling if I should I one day want to start a political career, this will haunts me.
No. Haven't you seen what they tried to do with the American senator?
Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
And then she danced. I'm not dancing though. I'm not doing that. I'm not.
Damn it. I have a sarong and a bikini here lying waiting. I don't.
You don't?
No. What? Oh.
Niels, you scared me there for a second.
Yeah, me too. Why did it do that?
I don't think they know what happened, but
No, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
This was between the two of us. It's not a naked picture that popped on.
no. That just pops up whenever he searches something in Scrabble.
Pwah, pwah. I thought using an incognito window would erase that, but
Yeah.
it doesn't.
It doesn't.
Got to get rid of the cookies.
Mm.
And we have another next. So I can just go back because that's the previous card on the viewer. Yeah, not much happening here. So this is the point where you just know, if I ever put this on YouTube, this is going to be the least watched fragment.
Right.
So people will just go like, when does the next game start?
You could add timestamps. Skip to...
Skip to interesting. I will just keep pressing some buttons.
Niels, can you open up a tab and look up the lead singer of Nickelback? Because that's been haunting me since the point we had the conversation about chats.
You're actually making me
See?
Google
His name's
Nickelback.
Chad Kruger. See? Chad. I was right. I'm so good. That's really good.
Ladies
Wow.
and gentlemen, Kobe knows music.
Don't I know Nickelback? I'm pretty sure that's far away from one another. Music and
How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes.
Soundboard, so much
Got
fun
nowhere to
Yeah.
run.
when you're watching
The
Exorcist.
night goes on as I'm
You are right
fading
about
away. I'm sick of this life.
Crowd cheering.
right.
He has an extra turn
Yeah.
token counter as
Yeah.
well. Oh my
He was gonna make
God.
an extra Tom counter instead, because Tom couldn't be here, and he was gonna make an extra Tom counter.
So cute. And we have Tom in the chat,
Right.
seeing his replacement.
How'd you feel, Tom? What's
How do you feel
How do
about
you
your
feel?
absence now? You caused this. No, it's okay.
who's the sickest, like you or this deck? What's the?
Oh,
I didn't see which one you pressed, so I'm assuming.
I pressed dun dun dun.
Okay. I mean, the nice thing about displaying this is,
This makes me even sicker. Oh.
Well, then I was saying, the nice thing about displaying this deck is he's probably not making, and Lars watching it, right? He's probably not making any mistakes or something. He's probably not, doing anything incorrectly. He's probably doing everything as they should be done.
So the dynamic we have now, he keeps looking for the Nexus of Fate with the search for Ascanta, and every invert doubles as an extra copy of the Nexus at this point. So this is a down-powered version of the standard deck for sure, but it's still a very functional one. Also, we just saw Lars pointing out that he still had to untap his Ascanta, which is I like that we have this mentality on the Invitational. Like, everybody's here just to have a good time. People are here to have fun. There's besides bragging rights, nothing really at stake.
Right, exactly.
So we're very forgiving about mistakes as well. It's more of a F&M mindset than a championship mindset, which a lot of people like. Getting here is the championship.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not so much about what you do here. It's about showing what
Precisely.
you do here. That's
Precisely. It's about, personally, it's about putting up a good show, right?
giving back to the community that fostered you.
So, right, because Tom knows this, because usually, so Tom was scheduled to play instead of Des, but he's a bit ill. But first we had a bit of a talk, because Tom was planning to play Mill, because that's what the people voted for, and we had a bit of a discussion whether that would make for a fun game versus Nexus, because you have some of these cards like Gaze Blessing or Nexus, which are good cards in the deck anyway, and are just backbreaking versus Mill. I think maybe for the next Niels, I don't know how you feel about this, but maybe for next year, sort of, is there anything that could be done sort of as to maybe broaden up the number of different decks we see at the Invitational, or something along those lines?
Yeah, so one of the things I would like to do is have a draw of picking order. And so as soon as we have the picking order, we do a deck draw as well, where, okay, you have first pick. Okay, I'm playing mono red. Good. From now on, nobody can play mono red unless you explain to me why your version of mono red is something completely different.
Right.
Like, you could play mono red standard version, and if somebody says, but I want to play mono red goblins or mono red pirates, which are completely different decks, then I'd be fine with it. And in the same vein, we could have 3 different flavors of
Yeah, for example, Lars and Thijs, I think, are sufficiently... I don't know. I think these are somewhat different decks already. Maybe not enough for you. I don't know.
It wouldn't be different enough for me.
Okay.
For me, the reclamation...
Yeah, it still revolves around reclamation. That's true. Yeah.
So we have Expansion Explosion here for the kill, because I see 30 mana getting moved from dice. 21 at you.
And who's drawing the cards?
No, 27. So Lars can invent a negate.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a negate. So.
Oh,
but he has spell pierce.
We're still in game 1. Yeah, he has some mana flow too.
So that should be fine.
Yeah, there's nothing. Just double checking. Crowd spiral goes out. It's because everything is scrambled. It's all just alphabetized, which is a horrible. Yeah, there's no.
And Tess is cancelling it anyway. So.
And that's what he needed.
Oh, that's so good.
So the expansion explosion.
Lars, you're amazing.
Copies the cancel.
Lars, you totally deserve that one.
For me, he gets it because of that. He baited an actual counterspell that he needed to
which
explosion.
He didn't have.
To expansion. Yeah.
But Tess could have known he doesn't have one.
This is masterful.
Yeah,
that play just.
That's sorry. I mean, sorry, Sander. The Excellence Bindings play was nice, but this is better. I think that's good. That's really good.
Yeah, it was against Sander, the Excellence Binding, right?
No, I mean binding with the.
Playing the binding to invoke it. Yeah. Yeah, we've got some highlights. Somebody clip this.
Yeah.
This is actually a really cool. So in the bottom right of your screen, you have this little. One of the 3 logos allows you to make a little clip. And you can share that clip easily on Facebook and stuff. That part where Lars baits out a counterspell to expansion it, and Kobe's reaction is a juicy clip. Yeah. Make it go viral. We can do this.
Yeah. That's
okay,
good.
Sideboard time. The match changes dramatically.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're bringing in Skittereel. We're bringing in Druid of the Cow.
All right. So Thijs brings in negates. Has the opportunity to bring in Spell Pierce. Has the opportunity to bring in Crushing Canopy. I think
you
all of them do come in, because Thijs has 4 Root Snares that he needs to dump. Does he have other things that sort of have to go?
Right. So this is a consideration I had to make as well with my sideboarding, and eventually I took out the blinks for more negates, because at some point it's just a better card.
Yeah.
Blinks aren't bad, and you want to keep them in to a certain degree, but you don't want to cut growth spirals. You probably don't want to cut ups. You could maybe cut like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But you want to be somewhat consistent still. So
on the side of Lars, then we have 3 Blink of an Ice, 2 Crushing Canopies, 4 Healing Grace, 2 Negate, 2 Shock, 2 Spell Pierce. So he stays really light on counter ability. Lars also plays Nexus Combat. No, he doesn't. He's playing 1000 Year Storm instead of the slot that you'd expect in Nexus. And that also influences a few of his other card choices. So what does he want to bring in? I'm guessing
negates.
2 negates, and you want to go from 2 to 4 spell pierces in this matchup?
It's a loss.
I don't think so.
I think 2 spell pierce is just fine. I don't think you want to do 4.
So you have 2 spell pierce, 2 negates as your only
It's not much.
counter force,
But
and the one of devious cover up, which really. So if you play devious cover up, always play 2 at least, because then you can bring one back with the other one, and you have this threat of a super late game loop where you're guaranteeing a hard counter that stops you from being milled. I mean, it just hurts my brain to see one devious cover up.
Okay.
Either 2 or more, but usually for more you don't have space, or 0. So it's how I feel about it.
Especially, I mean, I can get it, but if you're not... Is he running 2 negate main? No.
No.
If you can just play negates in that slot then. If you're not even running 4 negates, you can certainly...
Yeah.
Because, yeah. So, I would bring in Canopy, I'd probably bring negates, and that'd be it, I think. Actually, depends, because Revitalize is actually quite an interesting card, I've noticed as well. Right, let's... Who won that first game? I don't understand what happened at the end.
Thijs won.
Yeah, so Thijs won. What happened at the end there is Thijs was getting his turns, as he does, and eventually he got enough mana to cast a big explosion, which is one of the... it's a 2-sided card, Expansion Explosion, which is, yeah, that one. So X plus 4, so X was like 27 or something like that.
Yeah, 27.
So X was 27, so he was going to burn Lars for 27. Then Lars did this amazing play, I would say, where he pretended he was going to look for a counter spell. Yeah, that works. We'll get to that later. So Lars pretended to look for a counter spell, which then Des countered that. I'll say it again. So he looked for the counter spell with a card called Invent. 6 mana, you can go look for an instant or a sorcery. Instant and a sorcery.
But important, there was no counterspell
Exactly.
to find.
Which Des apparently didn't know. So he cast Cancel on that. Just a straight up counterspell. Which then allowed Lars to copy that Cancel with the other side of Expansion Explosion, which he plays as well. So you can read it there. So copy target instant or sorcery, convert mana cost 4 or less. So he used that to counter the original explosion by Des, which was going to do the 27 damage. But then Des had another counterspell.
Yeah.
So it was damage, go look for counterspell, instead get countered, copy counterspell, counterspell. Easy.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we have a cover.
And then Recollect brings the cover back. That's right. Recollect is a good card, but actually, but the nice thing about Recollect is that you can pick anything. It's the versatility after a while, because after a while you've cast so many different kinds of spells that at some point you can use the Recollect to just get back exactly what you need.
Yeah.
If you need to use it to chain something together, that's a bit makes it worse.
If that's the design in your deck, it seems rather weak. Like playing Recollect with the plan of casting it on Devious Cover-Up so you can shuffle back in your Recollect seems very suboptimal.
I mean, I can see the argument that it's an option and all these sort of things, right? It's an option to take.
Sure, but if you have a second Devious Cover-Up, like one of your first things you'll go look for in your graveyard will always be the other Devious Cover-Up, just because you have this. Sure, we'll keep it going.
You can pick 4 cards with Devious Cover-Up, which is a lot.
3, 4?
It's 4, I think, which is a lot. Yeah.
4, yeah.
So it's a lot. So you usually don't mind selecting. Like, I mean, you're looking for good targets anyway, because you don't want to put in draw spells, because that's just going to clog up your deck again. So, yeah.
So Lars keeping his opening 7, Thijs mulliganing at this point.
It's a very interesting interaction as well in this matchup in the very early turns, where because Spell Pierce is an actual card in these decks, and because one of the nice ways to win these matchups or lose them, as I have, is play Search for Scanter early. You have this very nice interaction where usually you want to play Gates turn 1, but you might also want to just play an island, just so your opponent doesn't go turn to Search for Scanter.
Yeah, represent the spell pierce.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my patronage.
Yeah, that's it's yours and Amma's actually. It's yours
Yeah?
primarily, obviously,
I like that
Because-
people are on board as well.
because you've been championing Spell Pierce for a while now. But then I played against Emma in a Gentry's Showdown recently, and she had, I think, at least 2 Spell Pierces main or something, and which was so annoying. It was so incredibly annoying because you have these certain things early where you think, like, it's so annoying. You see your opponent play, say, a Guild Summit on 3, and they leave up 1, and it's so annoying.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see the 2 spell pierces in Lars's deck as well. Also, excuse me for the yawning. I'm still very jet lagged.
Oh, where you from, Niels? Where you from? That's a bad question.
I was in Los Angeles up till Tuesday.
Oh, in the City of Angels.
Yeah,
What was going on there?
Magic Fest.
Okay.
It's my thing.
Yeah.
See, even now, Thijs has multiple growth spirals, and is just afraid to cast them because it's such a blowout if they get spell pierced.
Right,
here.
exactly. He's got land, right? You can play the land.
He already played the land.
Oh, he's...
Because Lars has
yes,
resolved
yeah,
the
yeah,
growth spiral.
Yes. Whoa. Yeah, there we are.
Yeah, Lars was on the play.
Oh, that's tough. That's really rough.
So we have Guild Summit.
It's very interesting as well, because if you're Lars, do you now tap out those 2? You probably don't.
I would tap 1.
Yeah, probably.
I tap 1. Just to... I like it. I think Thijs is one of the most stream-aware people that I know. Like, he's really obvious in I'm thinking,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
good. Like, even his tokens to show floating mana is just like, oh, like
That's true. That's true.
for me, that's a big deal. He tapped both of them for the draw.
Yeah, I'm curious why Tez doesn't Crushing Canopy and why he instead goes for Growth Spiral. Maybe because he's
Because
behind.
he
on
can
mana.
Crushing Canopy now and
Yeah.
keep 2... Oh! Well, if he has Canopy in hand,
I
I
thought he
would
had
have crushed
Canopy.
here. Yeah, I would have crushed here. Because 2 cards for 5 mana, I can live with that.
Yeah,
But now he's gonna get 3 cards from here on
that's a
out.
Canopy, right? Over there?
I think so, yeah.
No. So Niels, I've only recently started figuring this out, but the point is to put the cards on screen as they are resolving, or something like that? Whereas
Sort of,
people are
yeah.
playing them. Okay.
Well, it depends. Like, when we're talking about a card,
Yeah,
I
that,
want people
obviously.
to know what we're talking about. And at some point, people know what a negate is.
Yeah.
And people know what the Gatebreaker Ram is that we've showed 4 times already. So, as we go deeper into the match and we start looking for more dynamic topics to talk
Right.
about, I try to focus more on other
That's because our
things.
conversations are nothing but dynamic, aren't they?
No, in the beginning, especially in non-control matchups, it's very much about play-by-plays,
Right, exactly.
making sure that everybody knows what's going on. Now we have
Yeah,
the
now we
Crushing
have the
Canopy.
I'm not quite...
So he...
See, against Lars, I would actually prioritize Guild Summit above
yeah, me too.
Reclamation.
Especially against Lars, because he
Yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
threaten a Nexus of Fate or a Electro Dominance fight with fire. But I think Thijs is a bit focused on what his own deck is doing,
Yeah.
and is afraid of his potential, so that he's projecting that in a way.
Yeah,
Because Lars is a lot less threatening
Exactly,
with
yeah.
his reclamations than Thijs is. In both an entertainment value and strategic value. Why do I have... because of the website. Go away.
Are you interested in Tim McGraw?
I don't know who that is.
Neither do I. I was hoping you could.
6 mana invent.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Desert Stone, right? Or
Yes, I do believe so. No. No,
Yeah,
no,
'cause-
this isn't Thijs. Thijs' turn starts now.
no, because Lars is untapping, right?
Thijs is... Yes.
Yeah.
Thijs is on the
Yeah.
left.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he did it main phase after he canopied and then growth
Right.
spiral opted.
Okay. So now Lars is gonna go Wilderness Reclamation probably, and then
So now we have Shimmer of Possibilities, just a card draw spell, and that Nexus of Fate that just threatens to lock down
yeah.
the game, as we've seen in the last 20 minutes of the previous game. But Lars has a window where he can cast whatever he wants. Casts Wilderness Reclamation. Plays a land, draws a card off the Guild Summit. And now, what you gonna do, Lars?
When they come for you.
Bad boys, bad boys.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy. But here's my
It's getting-
It's funnier if you hear it yourself. but-
Yeah.
Okay, Opt.
Opt.
It's one of those cards, together with Shock, that I hate looking for. Because I get a ton of Topters.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Thoughts. That makes sense.
it's not legal in Penny Magic, apparently.
What's penny magic?
I have no clue, but I now know
I'm
it's...
assuming cards that cost a penny.
Is Opt more than a penny?
Probably. Because it's plays, so it's probably more than a penny.
But if Penny is on here, why isn't Gentry on here?
Let's look that one up, shall we? Actually, you can do this. Far more efficient than I.
Penny Magic?
Penny magic. You know we're going to get a bunch of magicians doing card tricks with pennies now, right? Or a song, apparently.
Magic Penny? Magic
Oh yeah,
Penny,
Shimmer on this end.
Penny Dreadful.
MTG Wiki. Penny Dreadful. The Magic Penny. Brian Penny Magic.
This was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Why do I have you here?
Sorry. So, Shimmer.
Oh, and the Memorial to Genius.
An interesting addition.
Yeah.
Surely. Maybe, actually, yeah.
There was somebody in the chat as well that was sad that there's no Sultai deck in the
Lars was
Invitational.
Lars was I don't know how he got to eventually playing this deck, but he was at first he was sort of thinking to either bring Sultai or well his 4-color monstrosity that runs both Gates Ablaze and
Oh, yeah,
Basilica Bellhound.
Non-green.
Non-green, yeah.
Not non-green monstrosity.
So it's a Gates deck that runs everything but green. If that sounds very inefficient to you.
Wow. So as we have as it's just another opt.
Yeah.
Oh, we have...
Niv Mizzet. Now that's actually interesting because
I find Niv Mizzet to be a very awkward card in the 4-color versions.
yeah, I played it in the 3-color versions up until very recently because it's
And you already had a strain there, right?
yeah. Because I mean you've there's all those dual lands which explicitly do not make anything any sort of color you want.
So, another Wilderness Reclamation for Lars. Floats 2 mana with the first trigger. And
Just
Lars
gonna pass
passes priority. Well, Thijs was already, take my tokens!
An interesting about Niv Mizzet though is because Thijs has already played a single Crushing Canopy, he's playing 3 down. Because we're thinking, if you can make sure Niv Mizzet doesn't get killed, it's actually super threatening because even as you're taking additional turns, Niv Mizzet is still going to trigger every time, it's still going to ping you.
Yeah.
So every trigger makes a bird, but that bird will get killed, right?
Yes.
So,
Well, it depends whose turn it is.
well, if you're taking additional turns, I'm assuming it's yours. Right? Because if it's your turn, the bird goes... No. What results first?
The non-active players.
The non-active turn. Oh.
So
Those
you're
bird-
left with 1 bird. You get 1 bird! Because bird is word.
Because bird is word. Right.
So this is the dynamic conversation that I was
Exactly,
talking
exactly.
about.
Right. Well, I think the issue is, Niels, we haven't developed like our own little language yet, like some commentators do, where we can call back to things or reminisce about the past in general.
Well, we don't have enough. We don't do this enough
Right.
to generate that kind of
Exactly. And we
baggage.
don't have that many sort of crazy common experiences either. We didn't go out drinking one night and somebody ended up
Not that I remember.
fornicating with a farm animal. I don't know.
Dirty deeds. No farm animals.
No farm animals,
Again, as far as I
no
remember.
farm animals were harmed in the making of this stream.
Hello, stream. Well, Chocolate Girl, you picked a very good moment to hop in.
That's a mistake.
You're very welcome. In case you don't know, you are watching the Gentry Invitational, where we are in the late turns of a very controlling matchup. And we have another follower. Welcome to the longboat. Grab an oar and join the adventure. As we apparently are now talking about our lack of emotional baggage to reminisce over the lack of farmyard animals we may or may not have fornicated with.
This is pure conjecture.
Yes.
My lawyers would like me to tell you that I neither confirm nor deny meeting a farm animal, talking to a farm animal.
Half an hour ago was like, I hope I don't ever want to become a politician. And now we're talking about farm animals.
I just know this guy with the beard on the right who is talking funny.
Wait, you know me? I
don't
know?
have a beard though, do I?
I'm on the right. See, it's
I also
mirrored.
clearly don't have a beard.
In the meantime, this game
Niv
is
Mizzet.
actually developing.
Yeah, okay.
It's in the card viewer. That's how we knew. I'm actually still watching the game.
Yeah, on this end I can see 3 Niv Mizzets. It's very clear to me now.
Yeah, they grow in size.
So, very tactical assessment here. If you're Tess, I
Finally
think...
a real card. I'm liking this chocolate girl.
If you're Tess, you probably want to bounce Niv Mizzet right now, I think.
How was the previous semis? The previous semis was Sander losing to Jens in a more mana screw influencing
Fashion.
fashion. Yes, thank you. I was gonna say endeavor, but that didn't
Yeah.
really brought
Yeah,
across what I wanted to convey at the present time. Okay, so Niv Mizzet is still on the stack. Tay is digging with a growth spiral. Has a bounce spell. I don't. Nexus and Invent in hand. So he can't invent for a counterspell anymore. Chooses to.
I was thinking about this one as well. It's
response.
This is an interesting decision, I think, because I was thinking about the same thing, but I don't think it's right. Because you're running into spell pierce here,
Negate as well.
and negate as well.
And Lars has.
I mean,
negate.
Lars, if you just negate now,
I think Lars has to negate here.
I'm not really getting why Tess does this.
That was his extra turn token. Yeah, obviously.
But you run into a spell pierce as well here, which you've been very careful in playing around thus far.
True.
Yeah, I think I would have just bounced the Niv Mizzet and then just cast the Nexus of Fate in my own turn.
Opt
Because-
triggering.
If you bounce Niv, Lars is probably going to try and counter that. Should he have a counter? And then you can go Nexus.
So now there's an actual victory condition on the table.
Yeah.
Like this even makes starting a Nexus
Yeah,
chain
that's what I
super
meant.
awkward.
Yeah, exactly. Because every time you're going to start an extra turn, you're going to take an additional bit of damage. And like we were talking earlier about how a Murmuring Mystic is effectively sort of completely annulled by Niv Mizzet.
Yeah.
But it's even worse than that at times, right? Because if you don't have a Mystic, you're just going to...
So now Shock turns into draw a card,
Deal
3 damage.
Yeah. It's very good. You play that. You play that card.
Probably. For 1 mana?
One
Anytime.
mana, anytime. Yeah, so Nexus of Fate is legal in this format. Yeah. You can play one of them. So it's not as good as it is in most others.
Yeah, you have to jump a lot of hoops to make Nexus of Fate good. In fact, we have the same ban list as standard, regular standard. So we have from time to time watch lists for cards, especially uncommons that we can upgrade to rare, because that
We do?
makes them restricted. Yeah. Cloud Blazer was on there as the most recent card. So we can ban cards or we can upgrade rarity. But important here, we have Murmuring Mystic. Not as impressive as we described, because with Niv Mizzet in play, that just means you get to keep your last bird.
Exactly.
At best. If you're casting spells in Lars's turn, you don't even get to keep your last bird. And I think that's what Lars was figuring out right now. It's like, wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, your one bird is not going to do anything either.
Well, it keeps jump blocking Niv Mizzet.
That is true.
That's relevant.
It jumps once.
Yeah, but you keep having one bird if you do it wrong.
Yeah, so if you're going to keep one bird, but then in Lars's turn he just needs to play one spell, and you don't have a blocker anymore.
True.
Again, though Deus is obviously very good at playing this deck and everything, I don't think the idea of building the deck around Nexus of Fate specifically is all that correct. I might be wrong there, but I think...
I like your Electro Dominance fight with Fire Take a lot better.
It's a good spell, but It's just if you took a look at Thijs' game earlier where he kept looping the Nexus of Fate, in the end, had he not been able to cast that giant Electro Dominance, like if that would have been counted there, it would have all been for nothing.
So Invert Invent is this format's mystical teachings, it seems.
Yeah,
I
sort of.
No,
No.
I don't think so. It only fits in one.
Yeah, it's
deck.
specifically for this deck. Yeah.
It only fits in the Reclamation control decks that either go for Nexus of Fate or Electro Dominance Fight with Fire. It isn't really played elsewhere.
No.
Like I've seen the occasional Jeskai deck
Whatnot.
teeter on whether or not they should be playing one, but there's so many more other interesting one-off cards because you're not playing it more than once in those decks. Where in these decks, I think you play 2.
I play 3 now.
You play 3,
And that's
Wow.
just because of so I think two is actually a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
But because I now also play Nexus Fate, I thought 3 might be a good one to consider.
So we have a bit of a stack developing here
Yeah.
with the Invent getting Spell Pierced, that's pinging away a bird, and then the Spell Pierce actually countering the Invent as well. So we've been talking about Spell Pierce a lot, but I don't think we've put it on the card viewer. So non-creature spell, unless it's controller pays 2. It's should be just a tempo card, but it's so much more in especially in these Reclamation decks. They kind of are designed to optimize their turns with the Reclamations and just the fact that you're pressuring these X spells into keeping mana, leftover mana, so they don't tap out for them, is actually a big deal in the dynamics.
So, or a bit more complex. Because the earlier you get to play that Wilderness Reclamation, usually the better. A card like Spell Pierce allows you to play it at worst on turn 5.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, most enchantment removal are 3 mana. Like you can, it usually lines up rather nicely.
Yeah.
I know I go on about sort of Magic Fairyland a bit too much with these decks, but nice thing about Invent as well is the way it lines up in how you can play a turn 4 Wilderness Reclamation, play a turn 5 Wilderness Reclamation, invert Invent for Electro Dominance, Fight with Fire, and kill your opponents in the exact next turn.
Yeah.
So it lines up super well in the way you've got sort of mana remaining and such.
Wait. Is this crushing canopy on a bird? Yeah, that was the other version of the Ixalan version, I think. No,
It's the same one, right?
it was this version of crushing
I've
canopy.
forgotten that, yeah. That's the same card.
Yeah, it got reprinted.
Wait.
So, blink of an eye, bounces Niv Mizzet here.
Yeah, I was unsure that for a second there, but that, yeah. You just let them resolve if you're Lars. You don't really care.
If your opponent's on 3,
I don't, because you can recast it next turn easily, right? So if you have a counter spell, you don't want to save that for Niv Mizzet, I think. I think you want to save that. Though, I don't know. I was thinking there's no cost to Lars of just replaying it next turn. Was my thought. But
wait, where are we here?
we're in, there's this main, I think, right? Yeah.
What?
So now he's going to go Explosion for 4. Which Lars is going to resolve. But now Lars just straight up wins, right?
Kobe, is your deck different from Thesis? The engine seems the same and the only difference is that you have more otherwise to win, or did I miss something?
Yeah, so that's... The engine is the same, yeah. It's actually super interesting because me and Des sort of started on somewhat different ends of the spectrum. Like Des wanted to play a Nexus deck and I wanted to play a deck where I could electro-dominance my opponents in the face. And we sort of slowly moved toward the same engine, which uses cards such as Shimmer and card engines like that. So, yeah. So, I just have additional win cons, really. You can talk to Tess about why he does what he does. But if I had to make a guess, I think Tess just really likes taking extra turns. I think that's...
Yeah, and Lars here has a spell and spell pierce in hand.
And he can recollect for a negate as well. So.
Yeah, but if miss it kills his opponent, right?
Yeah.
So he just plays a spell and
Yeah,
spell
I
pierces it himself.
I think he's just... I hope he sees that. Recollect. Guess but trigger. Yeah, he's figured it out.
What?
Yeah, but he's gonna bounce a bird probably. Or shock.
Well, he has the shock already. He could have
just shocked.
Or did he just draw the shock off the
maybe
trigger?
He drew the shock.
Okay.
At least he had a blink of an eye, so he could have bounced the bird as well.
That makes it 1-1, right?
Yeah. The end of the end of the first game was a bit iffy.
Yeah,
70-20
turns of yeah. All right.
Exciting
30
stuff.
viewers. So let's see. We have Chocolate Girl to oh my god, that's a list all of a sudden. Who else is new? Ascended Angel. Welcome to the stream. You're watching the Gentry Invitational. 8 players duking it out with nothing to win and only bragging rights or humiliation on the line. With me here is Kobe. He's been here for a very long time since he lost his
very
match.
first match.
Also welcome the great MC, Katarn, Kyle, Creighton, Maycool, all these new players. Why am I saying players? Safiraya, welcome to the stream.
Niels, because you want them to be playing Magic. That's
and then Zunat and Ziflo. Welcome everybody. If you have no clue what the hell is going on here, Gentry Invitational. 8 players got invited to play the best budget format known to man. Gentry uses the standard card pool and limits you to 15 uncommons and 4 unique rares and or mythics. So that's what this is all about. We have a Gentry Open happening on April 20th. That's kind of what we're doing this for, so people get a feel for the meta game and what they can expect. And yeah, this is semi-final number 2, heading into game number 3. Jens Goethals is in the final, got that slot through playing the Magic Arena leaderboard. If you're interested in that, go to arena.gentrymagic.com. There's both a leaderboard and challenge events going on. There's so much stuff to talk about here. What else? We have MKM Gent the weekend of 13 April, I think.
Yeah, the week before, I think.
Yeah, there you can play a Gentry Championships. What's going on up there? Gentry Championships. If you win that one, you get a buy for the Gentry Open, and as usual, we're working on having a very expansive and awesome goodie box for the Gentry Open, but we're still waiting for some last confirmations on what exactly is going to be in there, so no info yet. I was hoping to have a big announcement on that, and in the meantime I managed to talk for most of the sideboarding and shuffling.
That's very good.
Whew!
It's very good.
Your turn.
Yeah, thanks.
Drop the mic.
Drop the mic. No, it's very fluent. No no pauses. It's very well done. Yeah. I was just reading the chat. So, hi, shout, it's a great event. Thank you.
You're welcome.
hope to be in the next one.
Yeah.
Sure.
There's
Apparently, I'm here. You don't need to be very good at anything, apparently, to be here. So, I'm curious, by the way, Chesco 1984, is that like a sort of like a George Orwell reference, or were you actually born in 1984? Because it could go both ways, right? Another hour for game 3. That's generous.
So, Cheska, how do you make it to the Invitational? In case you didn't know, there's a few avenues. The next Invitational will be somewhere at the end of August or mid-September. Kind of depends on how things fall, but that'll be announced. It's Yannick from Bredene. All right. So you probably already know how to get in here. But either you win the Gentry Open, or you're leading to be leading a leaderboard that has at least 32 players when the selection happens, or you'll win a vote in a bunch of categories that we think of. A very popular one is the end boss vote for people that have made top 8s or at the Gentry Open, or went to invitationals but never have won one. I think that's one of the most interesting categories.
Yeah, super interesting.
We've had rookie votes, we've had deck builder votes, community builder votes. Usually we try to focus on the different communities that we had. The original plan was actually for the community builder that started the Sweden community to fly in just to play this event. But Patrick Fridland got a job offer the week where I was going to book his flight. So I was actually going to pay his flight to come here to play the Gentry Open. So that's a thing. What else is there? Community votes. And then there's always this one category where I pick some random idiot who gets to come play here. Usually I let myself get influenced by people that appear in multiple categories with votes and get a lot of votes. So we had Emma, for example, was, I believe, in the open category. One of the people that was selected was then replaced by, I think, Kobe, or was one of them. So there's a lot of last minute shifts happened for this one. Like
I'm not quite sure how I got here, actually.
At this point, I lost track because Kobe, Lars, and Thijs are so Thijs, Lars, Kobe were all three very late replacements for other people. And we actually have a very early murmuring mystic here.
It's actually super relevant.
Thijs, yes.
I want to go back to the chat though. This is very interesting. But Yannick, you missed a very interesting conversation earlier about Chester from Linkin Park.
Amongst other
things.
Yeah. So the three people,
namely that his name isn't Chat. That's what we discovered.
Yeah.
Right.
So the three people that were in but were replaced by Kobe, Thijs, and Lars are Emma, Tom de Waal, and Amaury. Yeah. Those were the three people that had more votes, more community weight in different categories. That was wildcard, open, and other communities, I think.
Yeah.
No, other communities has always been mods. End boss.
End boss was Tom.
Tom was end boss. So it was end boss, open, and wildcard. Were three other people originally. So there's that.
Right. So if you're Des now, do you slam the reclamation? You probably do, right?
Why not? I mean, do you have much to lose at this point?
No.
It's not like Lars has any... Lars doesn't even have red mana at this point. And Gates Ablaze is the only thing he can do to your Murmuring Mystic.
He did not keep his Gates Blazes, right? He chucked those out. Probably. That's an option.
So bouncing
the Mystic probably, right? Or the...
Wilderness Reclamation
Yeah, I
without kicker. Why is he not kicking?
guess. Because he can get spell paste, probably. Maybe?
Yeah. But
It's a bit-
how
it's a
much
bit-
further are you behind if that happens?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, quite a bit if that's your only answer. But then you have Wilderness Reclamation of your own to resolve freely.
Did he have? Did you know he had that? Or did he just draw it?
I hope he just drew it.
If not, then we're at a loss.
MIS, you had votes.
Yeah.
You had votes in open category and in other communities.
By the way, Emma, I hope I've been representing your deck fairly then, if you've been listening. I think I have.
Yeah. You've been name dropped quite a lot of
Okay,
times.
there you go.
He paid me to say that. Okay, but right now we're in an awkward position in these decks. Thijs is representing a exponential clock at this point, and Lars is missing a car.
Wow.
So this-
Again, the power of spell paste, clearly, right? So it's... Oh,
yeah, this is looking really bad for
This is very bad.
Lars. Still no red. And those shocks, like the 1,000-Year Storm is cool, but it forces these shocks sort of to be in the deck as the victory condition, where your version with Electro Dominance and Fight with Fire only has 2 cards. This one has to load up a little bit deeper on cards that in this specific matchup don't really do that much anymore.
yeah, exactly.
I also want to point out that we never had a 1,000-Year Storm in play.
Exactly, yeah, that's true.
Because it's also like
6 mana is a lot.
yes, and it's a card you can't tutor for,
Yeah.
where the invest engine changes that dynamic dramatically. Dramatically.
By the way, I should point out, fair is fair, there's this choice of Mystic instead of something like Gate Colossus is paying off heavily here, right? Because
Yes.
he's able to slam it way earlier than he would be Colossus.
Yep. And we have the PP again.
The PP. Scryless PP.
Can't watch anymore, but I'll watch the votes later. Yep, alright.
That works.
Yeah, they'll be available here or in 1 or 2 days on the YouTube channel as well. Not that anyone ever watches those, but they'll be there as well.
By the way, Romifex, I somewhat disagree in the sense that Des blinked my Searcher's counter in the first game, and I countered that. So he blinked first, and he won. So that's, he's
Yeah.
proving that.
Same here. The Murmuring Mystic was the first business spell, and
Yeah.
it's winning this game so far.
I was making a joke because that's
Blink of an eye.
Yeah, but and I see because yeah.
Ha ha ha! Ha!
Ah,
Wait. Where's my laugh track? God, I need to memorize my buttons.
yeah. Well, that's actually fine. I'm used to people having to take some, taking some time for my Jake to land. So I'm fine with that.
It's not a good
I
thing.
can see.
Okay, cancel. Gets rid of that blink. Also makes another token. And now the PP resolves, draws him 3 cards. Negate land, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Lars needs red mana and a lot of business very fast here. Though he can invert shock. Which is kind of cute.
was an interesting play. So inverting a Mystic to then kill it.
Yeah.
Someone should think of that. That's a good play.
Someone should do this someday.
Yeah.
Okay, Lars, very frustrated. I don't think he drew a land of
Yeah.
those 3 draws this turn. It sucks
That's-
losing a game this way.
Also, because Thijs is holding. Oh no, he's holding loads of cards. Okay, no, this is very hard to get back from.
Shimmering possibilities, and I shimmer the possibility of Thijs shimmering into the finals.
Yeah. What's shimmer? What's a shimmer?
I finally have a good enough signal to watch. Huzzah!
Niels, what does shimmer mean?
A shimmer is a unclear reflection.
Oh yeah, in that sense, yeah.
Shimmering
shimmer.
mirage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good. Yeah. There's a shimmer of possibility. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, more. Very welcome to the stream. I wonder where you are if you have issues finding signal, actually.
Probably West Vlaanderen, right?
Oh, how rude. He's insulting my heritage for those who
Oh
think-
yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to forget sometimes.
Sure.
By the way, speaking of heritage, I saw your mugs upstairs next to the table. Quite a few of those.
Yes.
Very, very well.
I used to be schachtentemmer and
Seriously?
kantor.
Wow. And Kanter as well.
Yeah, kantor. But kantor for us was the replacement prizes for countesses.
So
I led 15 countesses or something
Uh-huh.
like that.
Neat. So what was your favourite song then? If you had one.
Molly Malone and The Wild Rover.
Those are
Just
classics.
like I like the
Those are
folky
classic.
ones.
Yeah, that's good. That's
I'm not
good.
so much into the Flemish pride
get
stuff,
that,
even
I
though
get
I don't mind it, but
I get that.
there's just political baggage to it.
Yeah, right. That's
that,
true. Okay.
Cruising Canopy gets rid of one of the wilderness reclamations.
That's a skidder reel, right? Yep.
He boarded it in.
I was right! I was right!
Oh no!
In my non-prediction.
Wow. It's foil even. It's like it's his favorite
It's his
skitter
favorite.
reel.
It's such a specific card.
Wow.
I mean, I'm laughing, but I did consider doing that against Tess as well. Bringing in sort of the anti-aggro, like I had dagger tooths, like the
Mhm.
3/2s, like bringing those in against Tess in the mirror as well. Because, I mean, that's always that little game you can play, right? In a control matchup where you bring in some
Yeah.
creature.
Yeah, the transformative sideboard. Who has the removal? Who has the creatures?
Exactly.
Especially in blue green. That's historically is the deck who used to. The deck name is called Critical Mass, where you play a critical mass of control spells to pose as a control deck, and then your sideboard is literally 15 creatures. It's like all 4 and 5 drops. So suddenly you're like, I do nothing, I do nothing, I do nothing, and your opponent's like, oh no, he has mana, I cannot play anything, and then you just go like 4/4, 5/5, 5/5, 4/4.
Okay. In the meanwhile, stuff is happening.
Yes, I think Lars conceded.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
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 This is what we call the scoop-a-doop. Yeah, Lars losing this one based on a missing color for a very big part of the match.
Yeah.
We got 2 very nice matches though.
Yeah. First,
very nice games
Yeah.
before that.
with some
so-
interesting decisions, right? At
Yeah.
times.
Definitely. Okay, so we'll have a quick chat with Lars. And yes, GBK, for Rumifex. I was Presidium 2004 until 2008.
Ooh.
And I was the chef for the TBK in 2009. I actually cooked their spaghetti dinners and their weekends out and everything.
Wow. What'd you cook?
A lot of things. What you had down here. Spaghetti bolognese, the vegetarian version of it. Kip curries, macaroni and cheese, risottos, pancakes, broccolis. Yep.
Hi.
Hello everyone.
Hey.
Hello, Lars.
Oh my god.
Welcome. Watch out for all
watch
the
out the
cables.
Yeah, it's,
They say it's synchronized.
It's important.
It is.
Oh yeah, Niels. If Lander.
Hello everyone. Where do I look? I look there.
That's the
Hello
camera.
everyone.
So, Lars,
Yes.
it was promising to be an interesting match. We
Mhm.
got a few very, very interesting and dynamic games. So, chat, if you have any questions, dump them in the chat. We'll get to them later on. First and foremost, you had the most fans.
Thanks guys.
It
Thanks.
was 4-0 in the poll of who needed to win. A few of the things that we saw in the match was that both of you seem to value targeting the wilderness reclamations over guild summits, especially.
Mhm.
Do you think that's justified?
It depends,
Still
of course. It depends, of course, what the board state is mainly and what you have in hand. So it's not. I don't think it's always correct to target it, but I think in maybe the last one I could have tried and targeted the 1/5 instead, just to make sure that I get an extra turn maybe.
Yeah.
But I was so far behind. I lacked red mana to kill it on the spot.
Yeah, that last game was unfortunate to see.
Indeed,
Especially when you played your guild summit and still didn't draw lands. It was like
that was nasty. But yeah, it happens. But yeah, I think reclamation our decks are combo decks instead of the usual gate decks that have some mid-range version or build. So in our deck, the extra mana and end step is really important. So I think it's correct in this matchup to target the wilderness most of the time. But it depends on board state, life, and
So we've seen 3 flavors of reclamation decks in this tournament.
and we'll see 2 of them in the finals.
4 flavors then, because Taste in the final. Yeah, so you're playing the card that we never saw, the 1,000-Year Storm.
Yeah, we saw it, I think, in my first match, where the game was probably already
briefly,
decided. Yeah, very briefly. But besides, I have to mention Emma is the deck builder. So congrats to her for giving me the 75. I had no part in it. But she plays the combo version, and the payoffs are Niv Mizzet, as you saw in game 2, and 1,000-Year Storm, which looks like a win more card, but in this version you can do crazy things even with a couple of mana, especially if you untap again with the wilderness. It's actually a very strong card in this build. And as you saw when they can't remove it, you get to untap with it. It's probably the same as untapping with Niv Mizzet. It's game over.
Yeah, but both of them die to Crushing Canopy.
They do. That's how Crushing Canopy.
So we have 1,000-Year Storm.
Yeah.
We have the very Nexus of Fate focused version of Taste.
Extremely focused at Nexus, but that's fine.
Yeah, and then we have Kobe's version, who has Electro Dominance, Fight with Fire,
more
one
the
hit combo,
burn to the face version.
The potential for the mid game one hit kill. is there, after having played a few matches now,
And then there's Jens in the final with this more mid-range deck, which
a
is
more flat control
Yeah.
aspect of the deck.
Mhm.
Do you feel there's a better,
Best version?
best version?
Probably, but which one?
I mean,
At
each
this-
has their merits.
Yeah, they do. I think mine and Thijs being so focused on Wilderness Reclamation, if you can get that out of the way or bounce it as Thijs did in game 1, he could just gain an extra turn and prevent me from comboing off.
Yeah.
There was I think in game 1, one slot where I should have been more aggressive and went for 8 into the face with the Expansion Explosion. But afterwards, they told me he already had the counter backup, which I ended up trying to play around. So I think ours is a little bit more vulnerable after sideboard, but we are so straightforward, no creatures or almost none, that before board we have quite the advantage. So which one is better? I don't know. Probably we'll see that in the open.
The
hopefully.
open, yeah. So another thing, big props to you for, I think it was the end of game 1, where Thijs explosions you for 27.
Yes.
You invent in response,
Yeah.
and we just know, and Thijs should have known because he
Yeah.
got to look at your deck,
Mhm.
that there was nothing you could get.
There was.
You could have gotten Spell Pierce, which
he
doesn't
just
do
pays
anything.
for. Yeah, there was no out. But
And then we were like, but why is he doing this? And then when Thijs responded with the cancel,
Yeah, of
it was
course,
like, he cannot copy the cancel. And
that was the hope. He only had one, but he told me he's pretty sure. He told me he had 2 spells, but Thijs can try and say he has 2, but only have 1. So I said, well, we'll see if he maybe he spends a cancel on the first one and doesn't have the second one, and I
of
can
course.
copy it. But no.
Yeah, that's what we miss out. We don't hear what you say upstairs.
of course,
So yeah. Okay.
It was my only out to try and make him counter
Yeah.
a useless spell, which he should know is useless, and he didn't. Or he was so sure he was winning anyway. Doesn't matter. It was my only out, so I played to it.
Yeah, it was a very nice play. One I called out to be clipped and shared because it was
Nice.
it's next level to the empty Ixalan's binding that Sander played
but that
just to
one,
get
that
the,
one I think deserves just a little bit more credit because no one in the chat or downstairs watching, or 5 guys had any idea what he was doing, and Kobe called it out right before it happened. Yeah, that was bold.
That was
bold.
very
That
nice.
was very